have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all...
Gwitch, it's Eric here and I'm back with another video. For those who are not watching in Ireland, Gwitch is hello in Irish. Okay, so yeah, now you know a new word. Anyways, this is the last, unfortunately, this is the final episode of the biblical series. Hope you've been enjoying it so far. I certainly have, even though I featured in it, but I watched it back and I liked it. In this video, Godwin, Clement, and I, we discussed false prophets and corrupted pastors. Yeah, we said it all in this video. We held nothing back. We let everything go. We were so, I think, unwavering with how we delivered our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts on this topic. It's something that people need to be more willing to speak out against. People have to have a proclivity to condemn false prophets and corrupted pastors. People fear that. As I'm of African descent, I notice in the African community a sort of fear to speak out against pastors who may be doing wrong or priests who may be doing wrong because they see them as the bridge to God and something like that, which is wrong. In this video, one thing that we tried not to do very hard was to make it look like all pastors are bad because the majority of pastors are absolutely excellent. The work they do for the community is sublime. Without pastors, the world would be in a wretched state, in a worse state that it is, arguably, without the good ones. So we want to we showed appreciation for the good pastors, for those who do their job, for those who are steadfast in their efforts to deliver the word of God to the masses of the people as best as they possibly can, because the institution of the church can do a lot of good and has done a lot of good. However, this video is dedicated, of course, to the bad ones, because we feel not enough people converse and talk about the bad things the bad pastors do because of a righteous fear of what could happen. Their fear of God is conflated with their fear of man, the pastor, which should never happen. The very moment you stop questioning man, that's when man feels free to do whatever he wants. And when man feels free to do whatever he wants, if you look throughout history, you'll see where that has led people. Be it slavery, be it the suppression of women, whatever it is, it's never ended well. So we must always question man. Not God, but man. And we talk about all of this in the video. So this is the last episode. The series has been a blast. I really enjoyed it. Godwin and Clement did too, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. So please enjoy episode 4. Without further ado, here we go. Last episode. Enjoy.
What?
I can sit behind you guys and let you know sit there if you want.
No.
Bro, I'm not saying you're small, bro.
I don't know how I look
Sit,
Hello, my name is Eric, and I'm here with Godwin and Clement for the last video of the biblical series. So in this video, as you can tell from the title, but you know what? I forgot to introduce someone. Nadina.
Hi guys.
Nadina. She's here. She's back again. She had the final say in the last video. Let's see what she says in this one. In this video, we're going to be talking about false prophets and corrupted pastors. So those are people, of course, that use the word of God to their own benefit at the detriment and at the expense of the people in the congregation, or the people that they're supposed to be catering to as men or women of God. So yeah, we're going to get into it. So I think when we look around the world, let's start with the Bible. Lots of mentioning of false prophets. God, throughout the Old Testament, he talks about how false prophets will be punished. Jesus talks about how false prophets are going to come. It's something to be expected. So when we look around the world today, do you see false prophets? Do you see corrupted pastors?
Yeah, everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Okay, tell us, where do you see them?
I mean, especially in my own, the country I'm from, Ghana. Stuff.
No.
You would find false prophets everywhere you go, like every corner. Like churches aren't meant to be made by, like, let's say just one person. You know, I can't just go on my own and be like, oh, I created this church. You know, a church should be some place where, you know, 2 or more people go together, you know, in one with one reason, like one accord, to, like, you know, go worship God. Churches aren't meant for business purposes, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think they're everywhere. Churches being used as business, they're everywhere. So yeah.
100%. What do you think?
Same in Nigeria. There's a lot of false prophets in Nigeria, as like they use black magic.
We also call it juju.
Black magic with the preaching and to get a lot of people to come into the church, because the thing has not been some booming and all. That's what I see in a lot in Nigeria.
Nordina,
It's okay. Like there are false prophets everywhere. Yeah, especially in Ghana, as Godwin said. Like people actually kill people and put them under the church to like let the church
as
grow.
in for the like as they're building the foundation.
Yeah.
Like they might go to like
That's black
you
magic.
know
Yeah, they kill
wherever they
pregnant
juju,
people.
and they'll be like, oh, go kill this person. And then they'll go and kill it. They'll be like, "Oh, bury it underneath your church." This is actually a true story, and they will do it, and the church actually does prosper. Like they get money from it, just like that.
And like
It's
the
crazy.
people that comes to the church, like they all get blind. Like
Yeah.
Like as in
like they all
they-
get blinded by something, and like they can't even
Okay.
tell that like
Yeah.
you're going to the wrong church.
Yeah. That
It's
is
crazy.
incredibly sad. And there's lots of stories of false prophets. And I guess we mentioned Africa, so I'm going to stick with Africa. And Africa, we mentioned earlier how Africa is the richest continent in the world, but when it comes to the situation, the predicament of so many people are dealing with poverty, and many false prophets and corrupted pastors, can use their power to take advantage of that
Oh,
poverty
very true.
and vulnerability, because many people in Africa are very devout Christians, devout Muslims, very religious people. And many of these pastors can step up and say, okay, you are devout, you are vulnerable, you are poor. You pay me tithes, you will be rich, you will be happy, you will be prosperous. So it's exploiting. It's a form of psychological rape. It's taking advantage of people's vulnerabilities. So would you agree or disagree with that?
Definitely agree with that.
Okay.
Definitely, because I mean, like, how can you be a pastor, like a man of God, right, and then cheat your members? Like, how can you be like? How can you pour vegetable oil in a small bottle and be like, this is anointing oil or olive oil, and sell it for like what, millions, while you only buy vegetables in a shop for what do you call it, like €1 or something? That's crazy. Like, how can a man of God do that? You know what I mean? And people actually do believe it because of what the pastor has done. Like, as we were saying, they do, like, you know, black magic or whatever, and people don't actually realize they're buying into, like, they're going into, you know, false, like, they're associating with false prophets.
Yeah.
They're blinded by what they've done to them, and they actually do pay millions for just vegetable oil.
Yeah.
The pastor will be like, oh, put this here in the morning, put this here in the afternoon, you know, and they'll actually do it, but at the end of the day, they still don't get money. And I don't know why people actually, after they even see that they don't get money, they still go to the church. And it's crazy. It's ununderstandable. I don't know.
Anything to add? I don't.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, God is a jealous God, so he doesn't like when people worship other things like objects. It says in one of the commandments, only worship me, isn't it?
Yep.
How did it go again?
Do not worship any
Well, no
other
other
god
idols.
before me.
And most of these prophets, false prophets, they do that, and they use people to like pay the tithes and the offering, and they use that offering for their own wealth, their own, and that's how they're selfish.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like, you know.
100%. Completely agree. Anything to add?
I feel like false prophets make like poor people more poorer because
100%.
what do you call it? The poor people think if they go to the pastor, they can get like, they're gonna show them a way to get money.
Yeah.
But they're actually making them poor because they're gonna look for money to pay the pastor, so the pastor can pray for them to get money. But
They never
then
get money.
it doesn't even work if you get me. Like,
Yeah, 100%. So true. And Clement, you touched on something that is actually quite prevalent, I think, amongst pastors that are very smart and are taking advantage of people. What they do is they conflate your image of God in your head to themselves. They conflate your image and your love for Jesus Christ to themselves in a way that allows you to see God through them first.
Through them first, yeah.
They're the middleman. They get you there. And to get there, you have to go through me. And when there's a channel and trajectory of love directed towards God, and someone is standing in between that, he or she will receive that love.
It, yeah.
And with that love, they misuse it and allow themselves to take advantage of people and make money from them. And I think this is widespread amongst various churches all across the world. I personally am basing this on the life that Jesus lived. I am not necessarily for the idea, I know we talked about this before the video, of pastors, like especially in places like Africa, flying private jets over suffering.
Like you're meant to be a man of God. You're meant to donate. You're meant to, visit the poor. You're meant to do things for the poor.
Show examples.
But you're the one driving private jets.
And the saddest part about it, the psychological damage that has been done to these people is so great. And it's been done to the extent that these people will defend that pastor who's in that jet.
Yeah.
Because of that love and because of the fact that he's standing in the line of love that is being directed towards God. So I think that is fundamentally wrong. I believe every pastor, every man of God, every child of God should aspire to live as his son did, as Jesus Christ did. Who did Jesus Christ spend his time with?
Sinners.
The poor, the blind, the homeless, the sinners, the lepers, those who were poverty-stricken, those who had nothing. So I believe if Jesus returned tomorrow, the first place he'd go to is to the streets. He'd talk to the people that we as a society have neglected. Because that's who he spent time with when he was here.
That's what we're supposed to do, actually.
Exactly.
You would think when Jesus came to earth, he would associate with the Pharisees because they were, the big guys in the church, right? But God actually condemned them in the Bible. He told them they were hypocrites. He told them they were blind fools. He called them so many names. Yeah. And after Jesus did that, guess what? Where he went? To the poor, to the homeless. Went to talk with them. He healed the sick and all of that. Jesus, when he came, never associated with those who thought they were big in the church. He never did that.
Touching on the one that you said about the pastors going to private jets and owning mansions. Like, I don't disagree, but what if God blessed them with the things that they've worked hard for, and they've been praying that God, I want a mansion, I want you to bless me. What if that's blessings from God?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I'm completely okay with people using hard-earned money that they acquire from a profession to gain things like that. But I don't think it's right to use the name of God, which was used by men like Jesus Christ and prophets, to heal people, to help people, to spend time with the poor, to make money, because that's what the Pharisees did. So I think men of God should emulate Jesus instead of the Pharisees. And even if there was money being made by pastors, allow some transparency to be in your church. Let the people know that this is my full-time job, and some of this money is going to go towards me because of that reason. But most of it is going to go towards you, to the community. We're going to see what we can build, what we could do for the homeless. I think that needs to be the mentality.
Also, in the Bible, God said that if you want to follow me, he told one of the disciples, if you want to follow me, get rid of all your wealth,
Oh yeah, I seen that one.
Give your possessions to everyone, and then come follow me.
You couldn't answer
back. Yeah. So if you want to be a man of God, you're meant to do what God has told you to do. You're meant to give. You're meant to give to follow God. You're not meant to receive to follow God. So if you're a man of God and you are taking people's money for yourself, well,
you're not a man of God.
That's your own.
That's it. And it's all throughout the Bible. It's about forgiveness. It's about giving. It's about loving and cherishing. In the Old Testament, when God was speaking to Moses, he said that when you're finished farming on your land, don't take all of the crops. Leave some there for the poor, for the hungry. Exactly. That was the attitude. But then when you look at some institutions, some religious institutions, we don't see that. We don't see that Israelite Mosaic attitude. We don't see that Christ-like attitude. And I think that's fundamentally wrong. Now, I want to quickly say that there are amazing pastors out there that do incredible work.
Even in Nigeria and Ghana. Don't be...
And not even in Africa. Everywhere. Every country. There are good pastors.
Amazing ones that try to do everything that we say and more, and things that we're not even aware of yet. However, this video is about the bad ones.
Because you see them by the fruits.
That's it. And I think many people, because of their love for God, as I said earlier, are, as you said, Nardina, blinded by some of the things. And some of them are willfully blinded. If we said something like this to someone who is a devout Christian who chooses to be blind, no way. How can you say that about a man? How can you say that about a man of God? Who are you? And you know, stuff like that. It's widespread. It's scary, but hopefully with our generation that is a bit more rebellious and just want to get straight to God, straight to the truth, we will overlook all of those kind of malpractices and do what we need to do to better society. Because as long as dirt is in the corner and we ignore it, things are going to get worse in this room and other parts are going to get dirty. And if we ignore it all, the dirt will consume us. And we don't want to be consumed by evil in this society. So we need to continually do good. So, anything to add, anyone?
Yeah,
Go on,
I want
Adina.
to say something. If you want to follow Jesus, like, you shouldn't think about money. Because when Jesus came to this earth, he could have, like, been a rich man.
Yeah.
That's right.
But he decided to, like, not be rich and, like, be poor and, like, just be... Not poor,
Just be an average
yeah,
man,
just be
you know?
an average man. So, like, from my perspective, I think, like, you should not, like, how would I say this? Like, if you're following Jesus, you shouldn't think that, oh, like,
Money is first.
yeah,
Oh,
money
okay.
is first. You should never bring money first.
'cause
God
even-
always comes first. And if you follow Jesus, you're not going to be rich.
Mm.
You shouldn't think that
Oh,
following
okay.
Jesus
Jesus,
is
you're
going to
going
make
to
you
be-
rich.
Because
you know?
even-
Just to
Because
God's
even
will.
Jesus suffered on this
Yeah.
planet. So no one should think that, oh, them
Guaranteed.
following Jesus, you're not going to
Guaranteed
suffer, they're going to have money, they're going to get whatever you want. No, following
Because
Jesus is
even
not
in the
that
previous
easy.
video, as we said, that God said they are going to kill you because of me. Yeah, so you're definitely going to go into troubles if you follow God. And also God also said in the Bible that seek ye the kingdom of heaven first, and everything shall follow. So if you want to follow God, if you want to be rich, let's say if you want to be rich, you need to first seek God first. You need to seek God. You need to pray to God, you know, follow him. Your character should be very godlike. And then if you want to be rich, God will bless you. As long as you're looking to God and following him, everything else will be given to you. So yeah, that's one thing we should
Can I
also
say
put in
something?
Of course.
And also, like, you might want to be rich and pray to God about it, but God will not, like, make
Just
you
give it
rich
to you.
because he knows what you're going to do when you become rich. You might forget him, or you might do something that is not good with the money, so he decide not to make you rich. So everything is also on God's, like, it's in God's time, and if he wants to give it to you, he will, and if he doesn't want to, he wouldn't. And you don't have to force it. So,
And also, saying that God will give you everything when you look up to him, that doesn't mean do not do any work. Of course, you have to be determined and work for your money. Because if you follow God and work for your money, obviously God is going to bless you and, you know, give you the amount of, you know, money you want. Just don't be like, you know, I've prayed to God, money will come later. Let's not work. Let's not do that. So, yeah.
I hope you're not off topic.
No, this is good.
Okay.
I love it. It's a fruitful conversation. We're flowing, we're embracing many different things, which is very important. This is what I wanted to get across during this biblical series. I wanted us to talk about the Bible, the things that flow from it, how it's affected society. And I think the 4 topics that we've chosen may not have grasped onto absolutely everything because there's so much to grasp onto, but we definitely touch on very prominent points that people need to hear, others discuss and talk about, because I don't think they're conversed about enough, especially not by young people on platforms like YouTube.
Yeah.
So thank you all so very much for joining. Any last words from you all before we leave and end the series? What's the ladies first?
No.
So
I'm
her word is no. Okay.
No.
No. Okay. Gotta keep it going. No.
No, I'm just gonna say that we should just, you know, follow our heart desires, and obviously we should also look up to God. You know, as long as you're following God and you are like you're solely concentrated on him, everything is gonna go well for you. Of course you're gonna go into troubles, but God said do not be afraid. He's going to get you out of any troubles that you have. So yeah, and also if you have any questions, just, you know, let us
We
know.
have a message as well. As in,
I
like,
don't know.
try have a conversation with Jesus. That's my message.
Yeah.
Like, I even lack in these things as well, but obviously, like, just try. Give him like 10 minutes a day before you sleep and when you wake up as well, to give things that are like for making you like sleep and wake up as well, because it's
Amazing.
not a lot of people are privileged.
You don't even, as Clement is saying, you don't just always, like, when you're praying to God, which is also communicating with God, you don't always have to, you know, kneel, close your eyes, put your hands together and pray. You can actually sit down, open your eyes, have a seat, you know, talk to God as if you're talking to your own friend. Although he might not be with you, but you reason in your head. You talk to him in your head. You tell him your problems in your, like, whatever. And after everything, sit down quietly and just think about what you said to God. And I am very sure that at some point you are going to like have answers to your prayers. Definitely.
Medina, are you sure you don't have any last words?
Yeah.
I know it's hard to follow, but no last words?
No.
Okay, all I have to say is what they said. Anyway, thank you so much for following this series. It's something very unique, something different, something that I don't usually do. I haven't done anything like this thus far, but I think I had to do it because my channel is all about instigating educational conversation that people can gain from, and I believe people would have gained from the conversations that we've had today. So thank you, lads, for partaking in it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Medina, for being in it too. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let us know what you think of it in the comments, as Godwin said. Like, subscribe, and make sure to tune in to the next video, which will be released very, very soon.
I read them.
What else did you guys
What time
talk
is
about?
it? 24. I weekend.
So the first one was is the end near? So we talked about whether the end.
Don't tell me then.
Lordina's project. So
It's okay.
The joke that we made. Okay, so
Madra.
Madra.
Yeah, that's
Well, you can call me that.
Is that not dog in Irish?
Oh! Madra.
Congregation that is supposed to be catering to. It's my phone. Hello?
Okay, you can just say Ajwa.
Adra.
Yeah.
That's a very nice name.
Thank you.
Anyways,
God's face.
No. I'm pissed. I'm not pissed.
why would he be angry?
He's not,
well,
he's
yeah,
not,
exactly.
he's not pissed off.
He's a peaceful man.
Well,
He's a man
that's
of
yeah.
God. Look at him.
Exactly.
He's not a false prophet. He's a true one.
I'm a true one.
You don't know.
Thank you so much for getting in touch. I really appreciate it. Yeah, speak to them. People that randomly call you.